Welcome to first impression of Pathfinder Wrath of the Righteous. Got access to this beta thanks to Owlcat Games. I have spent more than 30 hours with the game, which is really not that much because most of it was spent understanding the game systems and incredible amount of classes available. I would have played a lot more and give more detailed impression, but have to switch to another game for now, so wanted to share current experience. First of all, Wrath of the Righteous is not expansion, it is standalone game in different setting, so Pathfinder 2 in a nutshell. Thing that I immediately noticed are improved graphics and effects. Most importantly, it looks less cartoonish than Kingmaker. To me that is more impactful, as I prefer these visuals. Also, weapon, armor, character details and spell effects are really good. However, for CRPGs, least important thing are graphics. Gameplay, experience, combat writing and character progression are most important. Let's jump to character progression immediately. One thing you will notice are addition of new classes, making already very complex and expensive character progression from Kingmaker even more abundant now. It is most overwhelming and vast character progression in modern gaming in my opinion. So many options that can easily overwhelm players. Classes and combat system are based on Pathfinder 1st edition rule set. Wanna hear something even more ridiculous? Like this isn't enough, devs have added mythic paths that can transform players into angels, demons, dragons and god knows what else. These paths offer additional benefits and can affect story substantially, but to what extent I'm gonna need much more time with the game to figure it out. From what I've seen so far, it can lead to different outcomes in dialogues and affects main story, not only character progression. When it comes to combat gameplay, I have to say I love addition of turn-based mode next to traditional real-time with pause. It makes huge difference in difficult fights. Not only that, but mods can be changed on the fly. Real-time with pause is classic mode for Dungeons & Dragons CRPGs forever now, since it works great, but in challenging fights where every action matters it was always a hindrance to some degree. So having option to switch to turn-based whenever is fantastic, especially for newcomers or people not that familiar with the systems in place. One thing that I would really wish developers would consider is adding some kind of speed slider for real-time with pause. I feel like it is too fast at the moment, at least for me. Having option to reduce the speed a little bit would go a long way in making real-time with pause effective even in toughest of fights. Enemy variety is important for combat to remain interesting in any game. Thankfully, Dungeons & Dragons are famous for having probably most diverse compilation of enemies in gaming. Even in a very early game that is focused on retaking Grey Garrison, there are plenty different enemy types that can significantly change how each fight plays out. At this point you are going to mostly battle evil cultists accompanied with all sorts of powerful demons, some acting like mini-bosses even. While you might annihilate opponents in one fight, next one might be completely different story due to various changes in resistances, making some previously successful strategies now ineffective. Difficulty varies a lot, but there are always ways to counter enemies, either through spells or specific weapons. Even though difficulty is all over the place, sometimes due to required different approach and sometimes due to different enemy quantities, I like that because it makes many of these encounters tactically different. New addition to Pathfinder is mounted combat. I didn't get the chance to test it yet, but essentially you can mount dinosaurs, horses, equip barding armor, get huge charging bonuses and so on. Interesting addition. Rest is reworked as well. Now there is abyssal corruption that rises each time party rests in unsafe environment. Corruption has 3 tiers, each more debilitating by reducing character attributes. So far during very early game I didn't have many issues with it, but still need prolonged testing in later game to see how it plays out there. There are ways to slow it down by using divine services while camping. From my brief experience it is decent system that forces players to put an effort in each fight to avoid using rest too much, but needs further testing. New addition to camping are alchemy and scroll scribing. This enables with right tools and knowledge potions and spell scrolls crafting. It is good addition as sometimes you might need something specific versus a certain enemy and can't get it at that moment while dungeoneering, so crafting really helps in that regard. Kingdom management part is still here, but I didn't get to that part yet, so can't comment on it. Next to kingdom management there is Crusade you are the leader of. Goal is to defeat demon armies scattered throughout the map. These features seemed bugged, so couldn't test it that frequently besides some very basic fights that resemble Heroes of Might and Magic combat. It could be double-edged sword if system doesn't progress with the game, meaning it could become boring without lots of variety and tactical depth. We will see in the end, and when I have more time on my hands to play Pathfinder, how beneficial or detrimental it is to the whole game. Wrath of the Righteous story revolves around demons and crusaders at the beginning at least. I quite like it, as it is impactful. Writing is really good with lots of interesting characters and especially companions with their own quests and agendas. Companions are very diverse and interesting. Crazy scientists with weird questions for conducting experiments, witches, fancy high society folk, thieves, paladins, shamans, quite a bunch that will make your adventures more interesting. Only negative thing I can say for now considering my brief experience with the game is that indoor areas are very dark. Gamma correction doesn't work in the game at the moment, so it is a nuisance. Obviously there are tons of bugs, but it is beta and release date is September 2nd, so there is time to polish things. Even though this is only beta, Wrath of the Righteous already has potential to become one of the greatest CRPGs ever made in my opinion. It has quite a road ahead of it and needs to make each system high quality one, but my first impression couldn't be better. Liberating Kenabres was fantastic experience, and if game keeps same quality up till the very end, we might get a masterpiece. Over summer I will play this game a lot, preparing beginner and newcomer guides for September. Thanks for watching this first impression video and see you soon, you righteous bastards.